Please rise for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the Village Board meeting of March 24th, 2025. Roll call, please.
Stacy.
Here.
Terry.
Here.
Kraus.
Here.
Gardner.
Here.
Dichenko.
Here.
Weisbach.
Here.
You have minutes from the March 10th meeting in your packet. Does anyone have any changes? If not, can we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Stacy.
Yes.
Terry.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Gardner.
Yes.
Dichenko.
Yes.
Weisbach.
And I don't think I have a village clerk's report in my massive papers. Under my report, I went to the Chamber of Commerce meeting last week, I believe, and they are thinking about potentially coming up with sort of a remake of Beautification Commission, trying to get together and do some updating. I know that the signs at the south and north end of town, I believe those belong to the chamber anyway, but they're looking rough, so they're thinking of trying to get a committee together to take care of the stuff along the tracks. They wanted to know if Public Works, if they were gonna water, if Public Works had any implements they could use to do something like that. So we can kind of get together and talk about that, but that's something they're considering doing. They also would like to do banners. So last Christmas, we did the banners on the street poles on Penfield and Gould. So they would like to do that and have summer banners too. They initially were talking about something for each season. I said, that would be a little labor intensive to be switching those out every season, but if they want to do something from, say, May, something patriotic, or even not, from May through November even, take those down and then put the Christmas stuff up right afterwards. So they're gonna administer that program, so it's not something that we have to get involved in. Another thing we talked about, I talked to some of the businesses downtown. So first of all, not on here, some of the businesses had a concern about our mobile food trucks. And we had put and they're not here tonight, they were gonna come in, but our food truck ordinance was put through at the end of 2023. And at the time, we had a lot of interest from food trucks that we wanted to try to control it. There were ice cream trucks, there were all kinds of people that were inquiring about how they come to town with their food trucks. Same time, you've got people that want variety with food and trying to make everybody happy. But with the food truck ordinances, I remember talking to the attorney and he says there are so many different ways to try to word these. So we came up with an ordinance that was working out. One of the issues that came up with the particular business I spoke to was it's competition for them, and it's on Route 1 and it's mobile and they don't have the same amount of expenses that a brick and mortar store does. I do understand that. But the ordinance itself, I thought, might be a good idea to bring up, and that would come under your committee, Dave. Just because as I looked it up, I had sent them a copy of the ordinance, and some of it I think we had reasons for it. We had residents that wanted to do like food truck fests and things, but there's one that would allow up to 10 of the food trucks in town. Well, if they're able to park there 365 days a year from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., that would be a lot of food trucks. So we may want to open that up. You can have a committee meeting just to kind of look that over and take a look and see if there's something we do need to change. So we also, when I spoke to them about the food trucks, I also talked to them. One of the issues with the downtown businesses is they're downtown, so there's not a lot of exposure for them. But we have the one sign, this one, on Route 1, that is not extremely visible. And back in the day, before any of your time on the board, we had always kind of talked about when we got a lot of businesses downtown that we need to try to support them and do whatever we can to give them visibility. So I looked at these signs since I work in Mantino half the time now. They have these signs all over town and they're extremely visible, and they've got all the downtown businesses listed on them, and they've got them along Route 50. So I asked Matt to take a look at pricing. And it's not something we're gonna necessarily vote on at the moment, because we only got the one price, although I'll ask you about, how it took a little bit to be able to get that pricing.
It did.
But something like this, you would be able to put 9 businesses on it, and these would work by, you could have decals made up with the business name, And if somebody, you know, moved or changed the name of their business or something, we could put a magnetic thing up over it temporarily. I think the sign we have out there now isn't that we couldn't even change out the plaques or do anything. We had to put tape over it when Village Hall moved.
Right.
So that, and now the PD is
Like
gonna be
duct
moving.
tape over and write in a
Duct
marker,
tape.
big fat marker, okay. Yeah.
So that, and plus that sign just with the black and gold, it's not easy to see. So I kinda liked the look of these, but not cheap. I think we all had an idea in our head of what they would cost, and it doubled or tripled what we thought it would be. So we got a quote for about $8,000 for one of those signs. This one is, it looks like it's painted wood, but it's actually, these would be black powder coated metal so that it would last a long time. And then that was the only, was that about the only company that we found, or that was
Yeah.
just where Mantino directed you?
That's where Mantino directed me, so that's where I started, but we could definitely search around for other options.
Yeah, so we can look around for signs if you guys think that would be a nice idea. I mean, I really do think we need to do something. Oh, and I did speak to Pete at Tesca about it. So the only question I had was, we do have money in our TIF fund now, so we would be able to spend some money for downtown, so this money could easily come out of the TIF. It's for the benefit of businesses within the TIF. My question was, since it's on Route 1, which is not in the TIF, is it still okay to do that? So he actually consulted a TIF attorney that they do business with, and they said it would be defensible that since it is 100% for use for businesses within the TIF to give them exposure, that it would be something we could take out of the TIF fund. So it wouldn't be coming out of village funds, it would be coming out of the TIF.
So if we, and I think that's just, I think it's common sense. I mean, I know it's not in the TIF, but it's directly for the business in the TIF. Would we not be able to put like park and that stuff on there then? Is this only for the,
I think it would only be for the businesses, but, I mean, if we had something for 9 slots, that's pretty much, we have enough businesses for that.
okay.
And you know what, if it's in the TIF district, I think we could still put it on there. It's just that our top commitment would be for the businesses,
Yes.
for them. But yeah, if you had extra space, you probably, I mean, you could put down the library. I believe the library is still in the TIF district, the community hall, as long as it's located within the TIF district.
And then I know it wouldn't be TIF related, but if you're calling to get quotes, you're probably gonna need some kind of signage on like Church and Route 1 eventually for the new PD. Just, I mean, just to get quotes for some kind of signage to direct people to the police department, so, yeah,
Okay.
it's nothing to do with the TIF funds and all that, but since you're
Yeah.
calling, I think we need something to direct people there. I don't know what it, if, like, you guys want something like this, or just some other suggestions or something, but it might
Just a
be a little
directional
cheaper if
thing
we,
with
if we do,
police department.
yeah, if we do
Yeah.
more than one sign with them, it might be a little cheaper to,
Mhm.
you know, if they're getting more of our business and, you know, just this one.
Or even a price, I mean, for like the driveway going into the police.
Like one of these?
No,
Oh,
no, something small, like, you know, with just police department, something on like, no, not $8,000 sign.
I was just thinking,
A small sign.
I was thinking like a, maybe a
poster board.
a horse, and we'll just print out a big sign that says police, I don't know. This
No,
part.
something much cheaper, but, something to direct people into the driveway,
Yeah.
so. Alrighty, well, I think that's it for my report. Village commissions, 4th of July commission, trustee Kraus.
Yeah, our next meeting is Monday, April 7th at 6:30 PM here at Village Hall. We had a meeting, was it last week? 2 weeks ago. It's in full swing, the 4th of July is around the corner. And then as always, if anyone's interested in either being on a committee or just volunteering for any part of the 4th of July, you know, get a hold of Village Hall and they'll direct you to the right spot to get to. So, that's all I have.
Okay. Youth commission, trustee Weisbon.
Thank you. Mom and Son Dance was recently held and well attended. Various fundraising activities are being discussed and planned internally. And the next meeting is on April 22nd, which is a Tuesday at 7:30 PM. That's all I have.
Okay. Historic preservation commission, trustee Gardner.
Thank you. Our next meeting is on April 16th. Our last 2 meetings were canceled for weather reasons. February due to ice and bitter cold, and the meeting this month due to tornadoes. So, welcome to the Midwest and spring. And that's all I have.
Okay. Finance and Administration Committee, trustee Kraus.
Consider a motion approving the list of bills and payroll in the amount of $490,534.97.
There is a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Discussion? Roll call?
Weisband,
Yes.
Dachenko,
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
And then we need to discuss the fuel pricing for 2025 that has been established by the Intergovernmental Fuel Committee.
So basically, the pricing becomes effective 4/1/25 and runs through 4/30/26. The unleaded is decreasing by 22 cents a gallon from 3.43 per gallon, and diesel fuel is decreasing by 54 cents per gallon from 3.73 per gallon. So now our unleaded will be 3.21 and our diesel will be 3.90.
We do not need a motion for that, right? Fuel Committee?
Nope, the fuel committee did it this one.
And then we need to find a date to hold our budget workshop. I don't know if anyone wants to do it in the evening, we can do it next week. Finance Committee's meeting this week to go over the final budget, and we'll have that ready. So I don't know if maybe next week in the evenings, anyone want to do it, or you may have any suggestions? We're probably gonna need,
Two nights?
no, one night, we can probably get it done in a few hours. What was the last year's was only a few hours, it was relatively quick.
Well, we
he
did everything, we did it on a
uh,
Saturday workshop though.
No, we didn't do a Saturday last year. No, but we were coming in an hour before the board meeting when we were meeting at 7, but then we did it, we had to go through a few because we didn't,
Yeah.
we had to go through 2 or 3
Meeting
board
more than
meetings,
hours,
yeah.
I would say it's probably gonna be a few hours. You know, if we start it like we do our meetings at 6, or I don't know, what everyone's schedules, and then get here earlier, we can start earlier. But I mean, we'll have a finalized budget by the end of this week, so. Those are, I guess, is there any days that, next week that don't work for anyone? We can start there.
Monday's bad for me,
Okay.
any other day's good.
Well, Tuesday's election day.
Yeah.
I only need
Friday
like 5
the
minutes
4th?
to vote.
Yeah. That week is good. I know the following week I'm out of the state all week, so, but.
Yeah,
that's
but
The
I'm
second or
good.
third?
Yeah, I'm good any night.
What time are you thinking?
I mean, I'd say 6 at the very latest, can everyone be here earlier?
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
I mean, what's the earliest everyone
I
can be?
can't do the third.
Okay. so I guess
Unless,
second-
unless it's,
second.
I mean, I honestly can't do it.
What about the second?
I could try doing the second. I haven't got the distracted driving detail yet. The schedule hasn't came out yet. I put in for it, but I don't know if I got it.
So what's the earliest everyone can be here on the second? 5?
4.
You good with 5?
Oh, I'm open for any time.
How about you, Dave? Is there-
Saying,
we said
keep
5.
saying
I'm
one.
wide open, 5 is good.
He wakes up at noon, keep saying noon.
So, April 2nd at 5 PM?
Yep.
I know you're maybe,
Alright, maybe, yeah,
Okay.
okay. I'll try.
I'll get some people to do some traffic stuff, that'd be great.
Yeah, okay, April 2nd.
So April 2nd at 5 PM, okay. And then, I would make a motion to hold a public hearing on the proposed budget at 6 PM on Monday, April 28th, 2025.
All right, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Roll call?
Stacy,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes,
Gardner,
Yes.
Dachenko.
Yes.
Weisband.
Yes.
and that's all I have.
Public Buildings and Properties, Park and Recreation Committee, trustee Pacheco.
All right, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to consider a motion to purchase park equipment for the Waltonstead Park. More specifically, some soccer goals, not to exceed the total amount of $4,500. A little clarity on that, the school asked if they could, use that field for the spring junior high soccer season. They have 2 goals at the junior high, but not on that property. even if we could get those, or if they could get those goals over to Walton Stead, they are insisting that after the season, they want them moved back to the school. So it would just be a temporary thing, just for use like, with the upcoming MYSA season in the fall, and just to utilize that property a little more. So we talked, trustee Kraus and I had talked and mentioned it a little bit, looking at like 2 full-size goals and possibly a couple of smaller goals, and then nets and stakes to stake the nets down.
We talked about that last year too, is that when we were pulling everything down, we were gonna get the goals.
And we try to partner with either the school or maybe NYSA for striking purposes.
Yeah, I talked to the athletic director, Mr. Du Bois, and he said the junior high soccer coach would probably get out there to line the fields for the spring season. For, after that, it'd probably have to be lined again in the summer, just to get it ready for like NYSA fall season. If that's something, if we wanna do it ourselves, or, I don't mind doing it at Lions Park for years and years and years, it would just be a matter of buying the spray paint to line it, and then athletic director Du Bois said that they've got a striping machine that's pretty much brand new that he would give the village to use if we needed to line it, and just keep it out in the Connex box out there.
And I think that'd be the best overall use. The school could use it, community can use it year round, it's just,
Yeah.
just let everybody who wants to use it can use it. I think it's a good win-win.
Okay. Well, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Weisband,
Yes.
Deachenko,
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
Okay, and secondly, I don't have any specifics, but Chief, any updates on the new facility or anything that needs to be shared?
Yes, I was there today, as a matter of fact. It's looking, I think you all agree when they poured the puddings, it looked like really tiny, really bears. It's not tiny no more, it really looked, trustee Kraus was there the other day, it is a really nice looking building. They're putting the final stages on the building right now. It's, they're talking about mid-April now we're gonna be in, if the asphalt, companies are open by then. But, we did point out a few things, and they're very responsive. Ray over there, they're very easy to work with. They had a floor, panel with the electric in it, and it was like on an angle. They broke up the cement at our request and put it back straight, They had to break up the cement, put re-cement, and then put the tile over. They're very responsive. I'll be honest with you, it's a really, really nice building, and our officers are gonna love it. It's about done. It's just about done. We're putting the finishing touches. I didn't realize when we started this project that some of the things were not included, as I think some of you did as well. Like cleaning the building is not included, so we have to hire a cleaning contractor to clean the building, and some of the things that, were added on should have been in the original contract, but when we readjusted, would that be the right term? When we readjusted the finances, it wasn't in it no more, so, it is a high-quality building. I think you're all gonna like it. If you wanna come do a tour like Dad did, please let me know. It's a top-notch building. I really couldn't be happier with it.
And if you guys haven't seen it since, I haven't seen it since it was just started out, it's nice. Like, it really is. It's really gonna be nice for the officers.
Chuck just came in, did the vault, they put the
Yeah, that was
evidence vault and
nice
stuff
too.
in there.
Chuck
Yeah.
So, it's coming along.
It's very nice.
All right, thank you, Chief, and that concludes my report.
All right, planning, building, and zoning, trustee Gardner.
Next PCC meeting is scheduled for March 27th, but I believe we're canceling that due to the lack of agenda items.
Yes.
So, no meeting this month.
All right,
That concludes my report.
public safety committee, trustee Terry.
Thank you, Mayor. Enclosed was the annual report for code enforcement that didn't make the cut last session, so, that's all I have.
David pointed that out to us.
Yes, I recall it. Public Works Committee, trustee Stacy.
Thank you, Mayor. The pickleball multi-use court will be open for season on April 1st. And that's all I have.
Economic Development Community Relations Committee, trustee Weisbon.
Thank you. I'd like to have a discussion and consideration to use TIP funds for senior citizens sidewalk repair, and I believe you had some comments on that.
Yes, so, outside of Kicking It Back Center, they, built a ramp last week. And one of these things, they started, laying everything out for the ramp, and I think it suddenly occurred to them that at the bottom of the ramp, now at the south end of it, between there and the street, there was a lot of broken up concrete, and that's the villages. So everything from the ramp towards the building is private property, and from the edge of the ramp to the street is village property. So, Matt and I went down there, had a look at it, I know trustee Kraus went down to take a look, Charity was out of town, it was worst possible timing, but, you know, everybody's trying to get everything done, you know, before the concrete gets poured. So I talked to Juan about it, and, we kind of went back and forth, and again, I talked to Pete at Tesca and said, infrastructure repairs downtown, TIF district, is this TIFable? And he said yes. So our share of it was $2,500, we figured we have to make the choice, let's do it. Well, then after several emails back and forth, he says, well, even though it's, you know, we usually approve anything over 5,000 with the board. Well, even though it's less than 5,000, since it's coming out of the TIF fund, the board has to approve the expenditure. So that's why we are bringing that to your attention, to see if someone would make a motion to pay for the sidewalk that's in now for $2,500. And if it didn't want to come out of TIF funds, we could probably come up with it elsewhere, but it makes no sense. I mean, that money, we finally have a little bit of money in the TIF fund to be able to do some things, and this is what it's meant for, is for infrastructure, so.
So we need a motion?
Yep.
I will make that motion.
All right, there's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions about it? Roll call.
Stacy,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
Beechenko.
Yes.
Weisbon.
Yes. And that concludes my report.
And we probably are going to, when the thermoplastic people come out, we're probably gonna have them stripe off the end spot at the south end of the building. Because now the handicap spot is right at the beginning of the ramp where there's gonna be a railing around it, and, you know, they would have to vault over the top of it.
We're gonna keep that one though, too. There'll be
We're gonna
three
keep that, yeah, so.
three
there'll be
handicaps
that.
in front of AMVets and in front of Kicking It Back. There'll be three in that general areas.
Yeah, so there will be one down at the end, actually where the ramp lets off and ends, so that people can get into the building more easily, so. And if any of you have not been down there, I mean, they do the karate program as well, I think they're open 4 days a week. But 3 of those days, they have senior citizen programs, so, they have exercise classes, they have treadmills in there, they have all kinds of programs specifically for seniors, so that was why they put the ramp in.
They're looking at adding, autism programs too, right?
Yes, so they have one room that's earmarked for, and they wouldn't administer the programs because they're not licensed for that, but they are looking at putting in a room that's, you know, a sensory room for people to be able to bring kids with autism to learn and to be able to go through their trainings and things like that. They're just trying to get funding for it, but they've got the space earmarked, they're building that up as they can, but that's gonna be part of their program too, so. Alrighty, any old business to come before the board? Okay, I believe we are going to adjourn into executive session to discuss employees. Again. If someone would make a motion to,
I make a motion to go into executive session.
alright, there's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second?
There's a motion and a second, roll call.
Weisbon.
Yes.
Beechenko.
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.